because I didn't want to have to fight to hold that in place, I wanted to have something that would allow me to clamp that down. So I came up with this. With the file held flat, I don't have to worry about whether I'm going to hold it at an improper angle. I just set this so that it's flat. This is straight up and down. With the jig, I don't have to worry about if the file is at the right angle or not. All I have to do is have this straight up and down, clamped in the vise, and then take the file and file. And loosen up the auger bit, spin it around, and reclamp it. That's got it locked down. Now I just repeat the process. I have a nice sharp edge. Now, because I have a nice sharp edge, this will cut better. At the same time, I want to have this locked in place so I can sharpen the spurs. With the auger bit securely mounted in the jig, I'm able to dress down the edges of the spurs. Now when I'm dressing down the edge of the spurs, I'm not taking the big file and going after them. When I'm dressing down the edges of the spurs, I'm not taking the big file and going after them. I'm just lightly smoothing up the edges. Now if by some unhappy circumstance you get an auger bit that the spur is nearly gone, take as little as possible off of it and give it just some of an edge. Then try it, see if it cuts. If it cuts, stop. There's no point in taking it any further than that. As long as it's working, that's good enough. Now I'm going to spin this around so I can get to the other edge. And just dress it a little bit. Now why am I being so cautious about sharpening the edge on the spur? Well, we've shown you that the spur makes the auger bit work. Without it, all the other things you've done to it help, but it's without a good spur, it's just not going to cut right. I don't think I've shown you an up-close view of the clamping mechanism. What I've done, I just took a U-bolt. Now this isn't really a U, it's more of a squared off, but that's how it came to me. That's the condition it was in when I got it. Slips over that, and it lets me lock the auger bit in place. Just like so. Now, this auger bit has got a bad pilot on it. The tip of the pilot is hammered up. Somebody dropped this on the tip and snapped the tip off of it. So let's see how well it does after I've sharpened it up. Take the auger bit, put it up against the wood. See if we can get it to start. Oh yeah. Now do you see the scribe mark around the outside edge there? That's where the spurs are cutting into the wood and releasing that chip. See how nicely that chip is being sliced out of there? Now normally if it's going to splinter up here on the cross grain. But because of the spurs marking that, it's smoothly cutting that out. That's a little bit down there. I marked it where I dropped the auger bit going down, pulling it out of the hole. Now when you're cutting with an auger bit, you've seen me do this before. You drill through until the pilot screw sticks out the other side just a little bit. Then you flip the board around and drill from the other side. See how it's the spur is marking the surface again? That's why you want a sharp spur. You want it to just go in there and slice that circle, just like a compass. So you end up with a nice, smooth, straight hole all the way through the board. That's what the spurs do for you. They make it so that it's a good, clean, straight cut. So that was a job and a half. If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.
This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the U.S. or 16 in the European Union without the express written permission of the parents or the legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.